social studies teacher for the internet. Yeah.
What kind of democracy do you want? Do you want one that's easily swayed to radical changes? There's countries like that. Countries like Thailand have periodic coups from the military to overthrow one bad leader after another. We don't have that in America. Why don't we have that? Because we have a long tradition of democracy, ensuring that change is hard, difficult to do, because they organized our Constitution in a way to make the winds of time difficult to press things quickly through. In this election, there are two third-party candidates who have been consistently making claims along the lines that they're being shut out, that the system isn't fair, and that everything's rigged against them in the media. We have a major party candidate who is saying the same thing. It's really important, as a political candidate running for president, if you're making claims that the election is rigged, that you can prove it. Today, on Facebook, Jill Stein posted something that I consider to be highly irresponsible. She said, "Why would John Oliver put out the wrong information on my campaign? Check out his secret connections to corporate corruption." And then there's this meme that says, "I'm John Oliver and my bosses, parentheses, Time Warner, are among Hillary's top 10 donors." Are you kidding me? John Oliver, she's accusing John Oliver of attempting to rig the election against her because he has been bribed or silenced or coerced into making his program about her. That's ridiculous. That is irresponsible crap. Let's think about this for 1 second. Every television show is owned by a corporation that is rich and is donating money to one or both politicians. That's our system. Under Jill Stein's logic, every single person on television is biased against her because of the fact that they work for a corporation. Everybody that works for a corporation is biased against Jill Stein. Did you know that? When you click on the link and scroll down, it says, "There will always be the John Olivers of the world. His hands are far from clean. He's a millionaire." He's a millionaire? His hands are dirty because he's a millionaire. Attention, rich people in the world, your hands are dirty. Doesn't matter how you got the money. So, there's millionaires that are dedicated to justice. There's millionaires that are trying everything they can to upend the system to make it easier for people that aren't rich to have equal access to all the benefits of society. Why is the fact that he's a millionaire mean that there's something wrong with him, like he's trying to subvert democracy because he thinks that what you said is stupid? I think what you said is stupid and I'm not rich. What, am I a sellout too? What am I selling out? Independent media, people that aren't mainstream media. There is a significant portion of them who are getting tons and tons of clicks, tons of ad revenue, tons of subscribers, tons of Patreon contributors for peddling the idea that our democracy is rigged. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that there's not problems with our democracy, but the things that they're peddling often are crap. I've looked at the Podesta emails that say that the election has always been rigged in favor of Hillary. It's not convincing. The biggest argument that I've seen so far from that is that in 2008, a month before Obama won the election, there are emails showing that he was in communications with people about transitioning to his presidency, as though that's a sign that the elections don't matter at all. Well, newsflash. Obama was leading in the polls by a landslide margin. For Obama to have lost the presidency in 2008 after his lead in October, he would have had to have publicly shot a man, probably white, and pooped on the sidewalk and wrote with a stick in it, "John McCain is a dirty old war veteran who doesn't know how to fly." You know, people had already been voting from early voting when these emails came out. Are you serious? We have real election problems, but people are actually voting. And when people vote, the votes are being counted in most places. There are voting machine issues that we've had in very specific states, like Ohio, but let's not say the whole system, every vote doesn't count. That's crap. One of the things that's important to maintain a democracy that works is not only the belief, but the active participation of people to ensure that their democracy works for them. Independent news journalists that are peddling the idea that the system is rigged and don't bother voting are anti-democratic. Maybe the reasons they're not working for these larger media companies that do actual journalism like The Guardian, BBC, PBS, CNN at times, when you're not looking at their editorial pundit department, but they're actual journalists. Al Jazeera. There's many good news sources out there where journalists are actually doing their jobs. Maybe the reason they don't have those jobs is because they don't have the education and researching skills and critical thinking skills to do it. So all they can do is create their own sites, create their own branding, which appeals to a certain base. And who is that base? Tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, people that click on clickbaity things and peddle these ideas that are anti-democratic because it makes them money. I'm sick of it. Case in point, Tim Pool shared a Subverse post. He didn't comment on it, so I'm not gonna hold him to task for this other than he shared this crap. It says, Reuters projects win for Clinton weeks before voters head to polls. And then it says above that, well, don't bother voting, I guess. So the idea behind this, when I read the headline, is Reuters has projected a win without the vote happening. I've never heard of them doing that before. What are you talking about? Okay, go on and click the article. It's just talking about the polling. Polling has been done for this election since a year ago and earlier. What is new about this? Actually, nothing's new. This is just a report of the newest iteration of the poll from Reuters. Why the hell are you saying that they've declared the election for Clinton? They haven't done that. But let me read the bottom of this, which is really interesting. They say, the recent flood of revelations have halted his momentum and his chances now look as patchy as his tan, Paddy Power said in a statement on their blog. Why are you quoting Paddy Power? That has nothing to do with Reuters. Paddy Power is a betting website. And at the bottom of this, it says, despite the website calling the election, users can continue to place bets right up until the election. Which website? Are you talking about Reuters or Paddy Power? Is this just about betting? Trying to make a buck off our election? For Christ's sakes, this is serious. This isn't a horse race. This is our lives. There's a big difference between what happens if Trump or Clinton gets elected. Just think of the Supreme Court alone. Come on. Don't be intellectually lazy. Don't be clickbaity. Don't have fun with our electorate, the people that are out there trying to be educated, that are struggling so hard because the information out there is all over the map because of people like you. Come on. This is what the Reuters article said. Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton maintained her commanding lead in the race to win the Electoral College and claim the U.S. presidency, according to the latest Reuters Lisbo's States of the Nation project results released on Saturday. In the last week, there has been little movement. She has a better than 95% chance of winning. This is the news that says, well, don't bother voting. God damn it. No. This news says nothing about whether you should vote or not. But I'll tell you what, everybody should be voting because it matters. Our democratic system is in a tenuous place because people don't know what to think because the information out there is crap. Not forgetting that the major news organizations aren't necessarily doing a good job in a lot of ways. This is worse. This independent journalist crap, insinuating that the election is rigged to the point where you shouldn't bother voting. Here, I've got an idea for you. If you care about this election and you think one candidate is going to be better than another one, go out and vote. And then if you can prove after the fact that the election was rigged, get on a bus, go to Washington, D.C., get everybody you know out there, have them stand outside 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and don't leave until justice is served. That's what you do. You don't quit before it happens. You don't give up your democracy to stupid hacks on Facebook who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Jill Stein is the worst of all of this because she is a liberal candidate. Liberal candidates are supposed to be on the side of democracy. I expect this crap from Donald Trump. I expect this crap from Gary Johnson because they don't believe in government. Donald Trump is a corporatist that believes in himself, that believes in money, and doesn't care what normal, non-wealthy people have to think because he just wants to exploit. Gary Johnson doesn't believe in government. He's a libertarian, and if he was elected, he would want to destroy many departments of government with no plan on what to do to replace them or what to do about the services that have been cut. Jill Stein claims to be more liberal and progressive than Hillary Clinton, and yet she is saying anti-democratic things. I don't like that. I find it abhorrent. If Jill Stein wants to be a serious presidential political candidate, she needs to take this little movement movement that she has now and build it for the next 4 years, get more than 2% of the public interested in voting for her a month before the election, and show that she's serious, that she has a plan, that she knows how to work within the system that we have, or knows how to do something to change the system that we have, and has a plan to do it, working with other people in DC, working with other groups or people with power to make it happen. I think Jill Stein is a hack because she has not done hardly any coalition building with people with power. And democracy works that way. You have to get some buy-in from people of power to get anything accomplished. What people of power might appeal to Jill Stein if she went to the effort of making a good pitch? Labor unions, environmental groups, women's groups, NAACP, ACLU. Why have none of these groups endorsed Jill Stein? Because she's not a serious candidate, because she hasn't created a serious movement that has a chance of beating the Conservative Party, which is currently led by Donald Trump, and they want people that understand our political system and understand what's at stake are not going to place their bet behind somebody that's not a serious candidate. If you have progressive views, you have to go with the most progressive candidate that can win. And then once they're elected, you make sure to surround that person with progressive Congress people in the House and Senate who will push forth legislation and force Hillary Clinton to either vote yes or veto it and get her on the record at the least to show whether she stands up to her progressive ideas or not. Hold her accountable once she's elected. That's our system. That's how you do it. Convincing people before the election not to vote because our system is rigged is anti-democratic, it's crap, it's irresponsible, and it is a conservative agenda that has been in the works for decades. And don't be a puppet to Donald Trump because you want to get more clicks on your article about a stupid Reuters poll that clearly says that Clinton is leading in the polls and nothing else. Don't insinuate that you shouldn't vote because the polls are out. That's stupid, and you know it, Tim Pool. And if you don't, take more civics classes, get your ass in college, take some political science classes, take some journalism classes, learn what you're talking about.